On a deserted stretch of highway late at night, a dark gray SUV glided past flickering streetlights. The mountain wind carried a bitter chill across the windshield, sweeping away the remnants of thought from the mind of Sarah Monroe, the newly appointed director of the National Security Bureau. She had just left a classified briefing in Denver and was on her way back to headquarters in Colorado Springs. Sarah had endured countless sleepless nights and pressure-packed situations tougher than any battlefield, but she didn't know that tonight would be her greatest test yet. Suddenly, flashing red and blue lights lit up behind her. She glanced at the rear-view mirror. The speedometer read 60, within the limit.
No va elastgens.
So why was she being pulled over? She sighed, turned on her signal, and pulled to the side of the road. The patrol car stopped behind her. Sarah wasn't afraid, just unsettled. 2 decades working with law enforcement had trained her instincts well. She knew protocol. She knew power. But something in the night air made her cautious. The patrol car door opened. A lone officer stepped out, a face she didn't recognize.
No gritin. No explanation.
Just a flashlight shining directly in her eyes as he barked. License and registration. Sarah kept calm. Can I ask why I'm being stopped? License, he repeated, emotionless, eyes locked on hers. She announced that she was reaching for her wallet and handed over both her driver's license and her federal ID. The officer glanced at them briefly, then said, "Step out of the vehicle." The words cracked like a gunshot. Sarah blinked. "Excuse me." "Out. Now." The tone told her everything. This wasn't standard procedure. There was no respect in his eyes, just raw control. Sarah had dealt with men like this before. She knew exactly how dangerous unchecked authority could be. She refused to exit the vehicle without a valid reason. The officer, name tag reading M. Reeves, stepped closer, hand on his weapon, flashlight still blinding her. He wanted her afraid. But Sarah had looked monsters in the eye before. Then, a second patrol car pulled up. Another officer stepped out. Bigger. Colder. No name tag.
No emotion.
Sarah saw it instantly. This wasn't backup for her. This was reinforcement for him. "What's the problem here?" the second man asked. "Drivers being uncooperative," Reeves answered, a smirk playing at the corners of his mouth. Sarah remained in the driver's seat. She knew, stepping out meant surrendering control. But staying in might escalate things to an irreversible level. And then it happened. Reeves reached in and grabbed her wrist. She pulled back sharply and said, voice firm, "Let go of me. You're violating procedure. You're resisting a lawful order," he growled. Still, she held her ground. Until he drew his gun and pointed it at her face. The world froze. The only sounds were the howling wind, the pulsing lights, and the deafening silence of the barrel aimed between her eyes. "You think you've got power," he sneered. She said nothing. But behind her calm stare, a storm was building. Then, someone shouted from the roadside, "I'm recording this." A young man with thick glasses stood holding up his phone, the recording light blazing like an unblinking eye. Reeves hesitated. The second officer turned, starting toward the man. Sarah stepped out of the car, calm and sharp as a scalpel. "Touch him and I'll have both of you prosecuted for obstruction of justice." They froze. Another patrol car arrived. Then a fourth. Then a fifth. A lieutenant emerged, surveying the scene. His eyes landed on Sarah, and widened. "Director Monroe." Now the truth couldn't be hidden. The lieutenant turned to Reeves and said, without hesitation, "Put them both in cuffs." Reeves shouted, "You can't do this." Sarah looked at him coldly. "You pointed a weapon at the head of the director of the National Security Bureau. If I wanted to, I could add attempted assault on a federal officer." Reeves snarled but said nothing more as he was handcuffed. His partner didn't utter a word. Sarah turned to the lieutenant. "I want their full disciplinary records on my desk before sunrise." "Yes, ma'am." The next morning, the video went viral. The news spread like wildfire. The 2 officers were suspended, then charged. But for Sarah, It wasn't enough. Because that night wasn't just about her, it was about every person who never got recorded, who never got a chance to survive. That afternoon, her phone rang. Director Monroe. It was the young man from the roadside. I just wanted to say, thank you, for not backing down. Most people wouldn't have. She was silent for a moment before replying. Most people don't have power. But I do. And for the first time in years, she believed that justice wasn't just an abstract concept. It started with truth. And with the people who refused to look away.